this? I don't know if y'all need this or not.
We'll pass it around. I'm glad you're here today, and you'll be glad that you're here today too, because as we know, Rotary is all about service, and it's all about the community. It's all about what we contribute individually and as a group. And it's my pleasure today to introduce someone who serves this county and this community, and has done so now for 3, 4, 5 years, 3 or 4 years, and has done a wonderful job. And I know y'all always anticipate when he comes back each year to give us an update of what's going on in the county or what's on his mind. And it's my privilege, my honor, to introduce today our guest and our speaker today, Mr. Sheriff Larry Webb.
Okay, well, I appreciate y'all letting me come and talk today. Actually, this year has been very good as far as with the Sheriff's Office. And one of the things that I'm real proud about is we were able to complete 2 major projects that we started this year, and or just this last year we were able to finish it. One was the upgrades to the radio system that we did. That's a complete benefit to not just the Sheriff's Office, but for all law enforcement in the county. We actually spent right about, we spent about $358,000 on the radios and getting them up and running to a digital system. Worked real close with E-Techs doing this, and I want to really send some gratitude to them, because without their help, we would have been a lot longer trying to complete this project as we did. And they really stepped up and did that, and were really Johnny on the spot when we started encountering some issues that we had with it. But we went live with that back in August, so we're now operating on a new digital radio system for the entire county. And that's a good thing. Before 2019, I had applied for a governor's grant, which was a $356,000 grant that we got from them, which was what we call a reimbursement grant. So really it didn't come out of local taxpayer money. It was taxpayers' money, but it wasn't here locally considered. And that was for a computer upgrade for the operating systems of the Sheriff's Office. Basically, to explain how that works is we went into a new CAD system, which is a computer-aided dispatching system, and Wi-Fi, or through cellular service. All right, I'm going to stick this in my mouth here in a minute. All right, I don't like sticking this thing in my face, but anyway. What happened is the computer upgrade has enabled us to do a whole lot. It's revolutionized the way we do work. Now, there was some other parts, there was businesses in the county that actually stepped up and purchased about $61,000 worth of hardware that went into the patrol cars. That's tablets, keyboards, and stands, and things like that. And that was, we're truly grateful to those folks that have done that. And when we started it, we went live with it in September, so we're out operating with it right now. And what it does is it increases officer safety. It puts the deputies out in the community a lot longer. Before they had to actually go back to the office to do their reports and things like that. Now they have the capability of doing that in their car now. So basically their car is their office. They can do all the reports and everything they need, dispatch calls, access information from inside the car, and do a lot of work out without having to come back to the office to do things. So it's improved our response time. It's improved where we're at out in the community a lot longer and less downtime for the deputies. So it's a win-win for everybody, and that was a real good thing. I know I came and spoke to y'all around about this time last year, and it was the same day that we released the information on the arrest of the meth ring here in Upshur County. You know, when I first took office in 2017, there were several names that came up And folks were wanting to know, why is this still going on in our community? When are we going to do something about this? It took a year and a half from the time I got in office in January of 2017 to this time, this time last year, when we started making the arrests of the individuals. And that was arrested 7 individuals here that was actually in the meth distribution ring that was going on here. And we were able to work with ATF Task Force, DEA, us, Grady County Code Unit, Gilmer Police Department, Gladewater, DPS. So we had a very big collaboration of law enforcement here in the county and outside that actually helped us with those cases to get those folks out of here. So hopefully I'll be able to give you an update before too long with all the judgments that came down with these folks. And they're going to go away for a pretty good while and not be back in our community causing us any more issues. 2 things that I was able to do this past year, was I also entered into an interlocal agreement with Cass County and Wood County on housing some of their inmates here, which has increased the revenue coming in for the county. So that's a good thing. Not that we need, it's something to use in a budget for a yearly budget, but the money that's brought in through the inmate services can help offset what we are actually spending for the jail operating budget, and it can also be used for things that we need throughout at the end of the year when we need to make a large purchase or something like that. We cleared about $300,000 last year off of contract inmates, and we're looking to even get more probably this year as we go forward and keep doing that. We were able, one of the good things that we're still working on, I get a lot of questions about this, is the game rooms in the county. Last legislature, I was able to work with Jay Dean and Brian Hughes, Senator Hughes, and to get the regulations passed are really open. What we didn't fall into is actually in the local government code is the statute, which is chapter 34 under the game room, 234 under the game rooms, that actually gives counties the authority to regulate game rooms within their county. We didn't fit the applicability clause to adopt those statutes. So I talked to Jay Dean and Senator Hughes about this and said, hey, this is something the citizens are wanting up here. Had the commissioners sign a resolution that they would support it. So we went down there and lobbied a little bit and got it passed. Now it went 2 ways. There was another county that was also wanting the same thing, and theirs was 892, House Bill 892, and ours was House Bill 1404. So what happened was the 892 beat ours to the governor's desk, okay? So they actually took 892, and then when 1404 came up, they vetoed it because they were the same thing. So we actually got it in there, and now we're able to actually adopt regulations through the Commissioner's Court and regulate game rooms in the county. We're currently working on that right now. So we're hammering out what these regulations are going to be, and hopefully get them adopted here real soon. And I think that's going to make the citizens of Upshur County very happy. When I took office back in 2017, it's been a blessing and an honor. As soon as I got in there and got my feet down a little bit, I just had folks coming to the door. They come and talk to me, hey, what do you need? What can we do with this and what can we do with that to get things going? And it's just been one relationship after another that's been built for the last 3 years since I've been in office that's just pushed our county forward. I mean, we're moving in a good direction. And I think the citizens are seeing this. They're seeing the cooperation that we're getting in their county government and moving things forward. And I want to give that back to the citizens that have come up and actually said, hey, what can we do to do this? Because y'all are taking a part. it's not something that I can fix on my own. When we have issues arise, and we have things come up in the county that we need to address, I'm gonna lean on the citizens just as much as they're gonna lean on me. I can't do this all by myself. I need y'all's help just as much for the county to get these things accomplished. And I think we've done real well. As you haven't heard, I am running for re-election. I am unopposed. So I look forward to your support continued on for the next, actually you could say the next 5 years. And we're going to keep going forward and we're going to have a great time. I know there's probably, I want to leave a few minutes just for any questions that anybody has. But again, I thank y'all for the support and y'all's prayers and keeping things going for us at the sheriff's office. And we're going to do the best job we can to support y'all. So I thank y'all very much. Is there any questions about anything? There's a lot. Yes, sir.
I know a year ago you rounded up some of the key people in the drug situation. But how do you answer, how is the current drug problem in Upshur County? I know it hasn't gone away.
No, it has not gone away. I've been, there's some retired law enforcement folks here. Mr. Mayor back here. He'll tell you we've been fighting the drug war since the 80s, even before that. We're not ever going to win, in my opinion, but what we are going to make is we're going to make folks understand that if you come to Upshur County and you have drugs and you sell, we're going to send you away. And I think that what we've done to show that is if you pick up the Gilmer Mirror, there's usually something in there that Mr. Williams, and he's not here today, but he usually writes a monthly report for me with my special investigative unit. And if you've seen that, they're out here hammering these people. I mean, they are making some nice cases. They're making some pretty large seizures on some of this stuff, and they're putting these folks in jail. Now, the thing that I love is a working relationship with the county judge and the district judge. Okay, all crimes start with usually the citizens, and it winds up in court with a jury, in front of a jury. Okay, if you've noticed, the last two big cases, and I think both of these have been with Gilmer Police Department cases that brought them into the courtroom. These weren't judges. This wasn't a sentence by a judge. This was by a jury. The last one was 99 years for selling this stuff in our county. Some people might think that's extreme. The way I look at it is folks are telling everybody here, if you come to our county and do this, we're going to put you away for a long time. I think I went and spoke to a group Saturday, and they told, there was one of those, one of the individuals in this group works with CPS. What she has seen is she has seen a decline in the CPS cases with the families that are dealing with the meth now. Not that we're going to be able to completely stomp this stuff out. No, we're not. But we're slowly chipping away, and we're getting the word out there that we're not going to stand for this stuff, and we're going to keep going. So we're making a little headway in progress, and we'll keep on going. Mr. Marshall?
Just a couple of questions. One of them is a gambling establishment, or what do they call it? As a game room, by any other name, it's still a game room. I mean, their donation. I was talking to Lou Gomer. He was talking about how that restaurant Pritchard was doing such a great business, and I told him, well, that was a donation place. He said, well, I should have brought something to them. Right. You donate your money.
The way we're going to put the regulations together is they're going to have to identify themselves as a game room. I don't care how you tweak it. A donation center, redeeming my prize, okay, it's a cash payout. I mean, it's just all the play on words is what it is, okay? They're working inside the loopholes of the bingo, sweepstakes, and raffle laws of the state of Texas is what they're operating in, okay? And thinking outside of the box and talking with the DA, Mr. Byrd, for quite a while on how to best address these issues is because the stats that I have are pretty astronomical on what the crime rate at these locations are. And I have the numbers that can show the reason why we need to do what we're fixing to do. And I think it's gonna benefit the county as a whole, and the citizens are asked for this. This wasn't something that we came up with, and I just said, oh, I'm Sheriff Webb, and I'm gonna go ask to pick on these people. Okay, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is addressing the welfare and safety issues and morality of the county, which is given me by the state and through the Commissioner's Court by adopting these regulations. So when we adopt the regulations, they're gonna have to go through the application process, and they're gonna say, Gilmer, you know, it's just, you call it what it is, a pig's a pig. You can put lipstick on it and maybe pretty it up a little bit, but it's still gonna be a pig, okay? Yes, sir.
I have one more question for you. We have a problem in the city with arresting people for some minor crimes generally, and not having a place to put these people. We used to put them in the city jail that we had there when I was growing up, and then I think the county's taking it over. So the county has that facility there, yet they bank a lot of money in these counties that you're letting put their prisoners there. They pay a premium, and that's what you make your money on. I understand that. But is there any beds or any area that's dedicated towards local law enforcement where we can put somebody? Because there's no deterrent right now for local people. They just thumb their nose at you if you say, well, I'm going to put you in jail for 30 days or 90 days. Do you have a...
Well, that is an issue that we've talked about before. One of the things is we're talking about Class C offenses. And Class C offenses which are governed by the city, and they go through their city court. It's not governed by the county. Now, with the Class A's, Class B, Class A, and on above, they come into our facility and have put there. Now, the bad kicker to this is, as we all know, if there's a Sandra Bland, I know not a lot of folks know what I'm fixing to talk about, but it's called the Sandra Bland Act that went into effect last year, okay, with the jails. And that was where a woman was arrested for a Class C offense, which turned into a resisting and everything else. But she was actually in a city jail and wound up hanging herself over it. There were some other things that happened and things. They're actually fixing to start trying to get away from, I can see it coming down as putting folks in jail for a Class C, period. Because we're actually talking about a Class C offense, if you look at it, that is only punishable by a fine only. It says that in statute. It's punishable by fine only. But to release those folks without going to jail, okay, they have to do a promise to appear on a citation or something like that where they say they're going to come to court. Now, if they don't, then under CCP, then they're actually able, the law enforcement officers, to take them into custody and not bring them to the jail, but bring them before the magistrate. Okay? So one thing that could help out, especially with the city, could actually have them bring them straight to the city judge, okay? And then, you know, where they don't go to jail, but they go to a city judge, especially if there's a fine amount or a warrant or something that's established with it that way. But yes, when there are some cities that contract their Class C stuff out to their county jails, where they actually pay county jails an amount of money a year just to house their Class C inmates for that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways of doing it, but I'd be happy to talk to you a little bit more about it whenever you get a chance.
What did the fact that County lost their new jail facility from a vote lately? What does Camp County play any inmate enrollment in Upshur County?
No, not Camp County. Now, Cass County is who I have a contract with. I have one with Cass County.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that.
Yeah, I have to look back, but I don't think I currently have one with Camp County.
That's a gaming room question. I'm amazed, I drive by that place every day, Richard, at the number of vehicles that are there. Any hour of the day, day and night, nonstop. But you mentioned there's a lot of criminal activity that takes place in those. What type of criminal activity have you guys had to investigate?
Well, right off the bat, 2017, 2018, we had a homicide at one in Diana. We've had anywhere from robberies, aggravated robberies. We've had numerous narcotics transactions at these locations. We've had fraud, resisting arrest, evading, fleeing. So we've had a multitude of, pretty much run the gamut of the penal code, and we've had it there. So we've been playing, I've been keeping the numbers and tabs on these places since I've been trying to work on them. And that's the type of offenses we have. I'm just not talking about nuisance, like loud music or any of that kind of stuff. But we're talking about major criminal offenses that occur. Yes, sir.
Sheriff, one other thing, can you address what's going on in the county as far as the cybersecurity and the problems I understand the county's having with the computers?
Yes, we're currently working on getting some training with the cybersecurity that has happened, that came down through legislature, so that'll be coming up here pretty soon this summer. And all the employees will be going through it, even elected officials, everybody associated with the county will be going through the training that we're going to have.
Do we not currently have a security problem now?
I can't comment on that.
Okay.
I will refer you to the county judge or commissioner's court for that little thing that's going on. If you want to call and talk to them, that would be a good thing. Yes, sir.
Do you oversee the 911 dispatching?
Yes, I do. For the entire county.
Okay. What would we need to do to our 911 system to bring up a more advanced system where one person that answers that phone handles all the dispatch? I had to call 911 last Friday on a density, and I knew what was going on because of my first day training through the
Actually,
person.
to let you know,
It took 10 minutes to finally get somebody to send an ambulance. And
one of the things that does cause us an issue, and I can show you the numbers on this, and I've talked with folks about this. It's a plan of mine to go forward, but I had to get the new radios up, the computer system going, move dispatch into a new location. I've got them up and running. We actually have 3 dispatching stations now down there that's operating on the new system. Because one of the problems that I did identify, and it's going to take us to work as a group, it's going to take us as the cities, me, the county, the cities that I dispatch for, which are all of them. I dispatch for Gilmer from 12 midnight till 8 in the morning. And of course they pick up their own, but I dispatch for everybody else 24/7. And then the fire, they do their own dispatching. That's run by the ESD board, and they do their own over in Gilmer, okay? My idea is that we make a central dispatching center that handles everything. But what it's going to cost, what it's going to take is everybody to work together to do that, okay? And because if I get a dispatch call, and I understand the frustration with what citizens have, because I've seen it, they'll get a 911 call that comes into dispatch, and what they have to do is they have to transfer that call to whatever agency's going. If it's not us, it's an ambulance, or it's a fire call, and then they have to transfer that over to Gilmer Fire, then Gilmer Fire has to dispatch theirs.
And that's time.
And that's time. We are talking about time. But yes, that has been something that's been identified, and I think we can work together to fix that.
Oh, one other question. Am I pronouncing it right, the drug fentanyl?
Fentanyl?
That illegal synthetic?
Fentanyl?
Yeah. Do we have a problem with that?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I haven't seen it. I mean, but with any drug, it can just pop its head up anywhere. With that.
Well, I was reading an article yesterday about it. It's just unbelievable, the money that's in it right now.
Right.
and what it can do and how easy it is to make.
Yes, ma'am.
On the, when you're actually talking about the gaming things, I know, I'm not gonna say where, but anyway, that they had a lot of robberies in, near that area. And how is the police officer or whatever, how are they getting those people, even if they have proof of who's doing it? Why are those people not getting in trouble?
Well, can you be a little bit more specific?
Okay, do you know where it used to be Cliff's grocery store or something going toward?
Yes,
Grove?
Cliff, yeah.
And you know, there's some
There's
storage
one by-
buildings and stuff.
Yeah, there's one right there by Silver Tree, yes.
Yeah, those got robbed, they even have pictures, but those people are still out there,
Well, and this
and they've
is,
got into it multiple times.
yeah, well, let me explain to you the why they're still out there thing. Under CCP, chapter 14, gives rights for officers or law enforcement to make an arrest warrantless, in other words, without a warrant. There are specific situations where we have to go by to make a warrantless arrest. If we don't have those circumstances, then it has to go through the process of getting a warrant. So then we have to actually write the case, send it to an investigator, and then once the investigator gets it, he compiles the case with evidence and everything, sends it to the DA's office. The DA's office then looks at it, and then depending on the type of the offense, it could take it, and then take it in front of a grand jury who's impaneled, okay? So then the grand jury looks at the case, and the grand jury says, yes, this has happened. Now they present an indictment for the individual, then it comes out of the warrant, and then we go pick them up. That's the process.
And
I know
what's
it's-
that time frame?
Oh, it can be very long. They do say the wheels of justice are slow, okay? But unfortunately, when the wheels of justice catch up to you, you ain't got nowhere else to run. It's like that rabbit in the turtle race. The rabbit keeps running, and the turtle just keeps at his little slow, constant pace, and that's the justice system. We're just at this one solid place, and we just keep going and going and going. But the bad thing is criminals don't have to operate within the same laws and boundaries that we do. You know, I wish I would. I could, you know, if I went up there and the guy said, you did it, and I grab a hold of you and I drag you off and go put you in jail, okay? But not necessarily can I do that, because then when they get out, they're gonna go turn around and get them an attorney, and then they're gonna sue me for violating their civil rights, okay? Or violating our constitutional rights, Amendment 14, due process, or something like that, or Amendment 8, cruel and unusual punishment, or something like that, and then now I'm back in the bind. So I have to play by the rules to get them. But we will get them, trust me. It's just a matter of time. Yes, ma'am.
So I noticed Saturday when there was like a motorcycle type deal going on, do we have a motorcycle thing, or what's going on?
We do have one that's here. It's called the Cossacks. But they really haven't caused us much issues. But we do keep an eye on them. So, but yes, they did have a rally this weekend. That's why you saw a whole bunch of them here. Yes. Yeah. But they are here, yes. Anything else? No? Well, again, hey, I thank y'all very much, and look forward to seeing y'all again. If you have any questions, anything, you can always come by my office or call me. I'm pretty sure everybody will tell you I do answer my phone, and I'm there. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Larry, we appreciate it. I want to thank our guests again.